finally got the Jeep back out here in Rhode Island. If you guys don't know, last video I blew the transmission. Long story short, it's got something to do with the pressure, the throttle cable, a lot of stuff I can't really explain. But anyway, we got the Jeep back. Went to go fire it up. Battery's dead, so we gotta get a jump out here. She definitely needs a cleaning. It's been sitting for about a month. Poor girl. We'll get her washed up nice and good though. Gonna check the oil, make sure everything's tip top before we head out. So originally I drove this Jeep down here to get tuned, and on the way to get it tuned, the transmission started acting up, and that's where it fried. So unfortunately, I spent all my money on this, not even joking. And yeah, that's gonna have to wait. So we're not gonna get it tuned yet. Plus, he strongly recommended not to add more power with this transmission setup the way the pressure throttle cable is. So I don't know, we'll see where that goes, but I think a manual swap is going to come sooner than later, because good news, this transmission shop actually said that they would take that on for me and figure out what tranny would work, drive shaft, all that rear end, and we can definitely manual swap this in the future.
Bruh.
Anti-lag switch on. They left my rolling anti-lag switch on. I went to go pull away and fucking first gear was so yeah, that was the weirdest thing. I don't know if you guys saw it there. I was having a hard time driving and turning and recording, but yeah, I went to go take off in first and I shifted in second, and my rolling anti-lag switch was on, which basically just locks it whatever RPM you're on. Got the 2J back at least. I really haven't left second gear in this, so I can't tell you how it drives. Third gear was the gear that I didn't have, so I'm eager to see how this thing's gonna drive home. We have a 2-hour drive home, so it'll give me a lot of time to get used to it, figure it out. So silly me, pulled in to get gas here and I shut it off, not thinking. Battery died again, and it's so dead, we can't even jump it with my truck. So I'm sitting here in the gas station waiting for Josh to go grab a new battery. We're gonna come back, swap it out. But yeah, it's a $300 Optima battery that I just bought, and now it's dead, so that's really cool. All because he left that little rolling anti-lag switch on. I don't know how it drew that much power, but it was sitting here for a month. All right, Josh came, got me a battery. Now we're back on the road. So we made it back with the 2J. Despite some slight hiccups getting back here on the 3-hour trip, it wasn't too bad. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my 2000 Jeep Cherokee XJ with the 2JZ with a big old turbo on it. If you guys aren't familiar with the Jeep, it's basically a 2JZ with a factory Jeep Cherokee transmission, the Aw4. And in my last video, I was on my way to get it tuned because it's really slow. It's only on a base map tune. I blew the transmission. I haven't had it for about 2 months, but let me show you a little bit what we got going on here for the transmission setup. So there's a 2JZ, there's a Aw4, and in between there is a Lexus IS300 bell housing, which allows the transmission and the 2JZ to work. The Aw4 is an automatic transmission, and I know you're probably going, damn, that sucks. Yes, it does. This little shifter right here is wired to my TCM, so I can actually shift with this little toggle switch, which makes it a little bit cooler. So it being a factory Jeep Cherokee transmission bolted to a 2JZ with a big turbo on it, you're gonna run into some issues here. This is actually the third transmission that I've been through with this Jeep. So I guess that says that the transmission and the 2JZ just don't work well together. They work, it runs, it drives, it can do burnouts as you just saw. But the biggest downfall is actually the shifting itself. So one of the issues that we ran into here, and I guess this was like this when I bought the Jeep, this right here is your kickdown cable, and it runs to your transmission. In my case, we just got a whole bunch of zip ties on there, and basically just holding at a constant pressure. This is my other Jeep Cherokee that also needs a ton of work. But as you can see here, this cable right here is exactly what I was just showing you. And that's where it's all zip tied on the 2J. It's actually connected to your throttle body here. So as you hit the throttle, that pulls the cable back, and I guess just provides a correct pressure for the transmission to shift. So that's how it's supposed to be set up. But in my case, the previous builder of this Jeep who put the 2J in it. So yeah, again, if you guys don't know, I cannot take credit for doing this swap because I didn't do it. I bought it with a whole bunch of issues, and basically that's what this channel is all about, is just me working on this Jeep. Anything that breaks with it, I'll just upgrade and make it better. At least I'm trying to, but in this situation, honestly, I really didn't notice any difference. So that old transmission was out of a Jeep Cherokee with 160,000 miles on it, and it was great. You know, it lasted me probably 2 years doing burnouts on it, rolling anti-lag poles, driving it to car shows. It was a pretty good transmission until it decided it didn't want to have third and reverse, which is direct in the transmission, and that's what I ended up blowing up in the old one. Brought it to the trans shop, told them to rebuild it. Had no idea it was going to cost $4,000 for the whole rebuild. 7M GTE torque converter out of a 1991 Supra. And yeah, then we're left with this janky setup with the kickdown throttle cable, whatever you want to call it. This right here, I can't touch it right now. I was just doing some burnouts, but yeah, basically I need to attach it to the throttle body somehow. Haven't figured that out. I think I'm just gonna have someone make me a custom bracket that can be connected right here, and I can hook up that throttle cable to this throttle body. Although I have no idea how that's going to work, because I'm sure there's a certain length and a certain amount of pressure that's applied to that throttle body cable, but I don't know. That's what it's all about sometimes, is just trying something and failing and figuring it out, going from there. But yeah, that's the first option we have, and the easiest, probably most cheapest option at this point. Like I said, I spent $4,000 on the rebuild. I'm no big YouTuber. I work a normal job just like you guys. This build is completely funded by my own money, no sponsors or anything. So yeah, that's probably the easiest, most simple solution to getting my shifts to improve, because what that cable does is, I think it regulates the pressure in the transmission, and it allows the transmission to shift firmer. And that's why in a lot of my videos, you guys will see in this video and other videos on my Instagram or TikTok, if you want to check that out, it's a sloppy shift. Usually the 2 to 3, it grabs a little bit, but the 3 into overdrive, which is 4 on my display. If you guys ever see me driving around, I got that little window, 1, 2, 3, 4. It actually has 5 too, which is torque converter lockup. But this transmission's only 3-speed with overdrive and torque converter lockup. But anyway, as you shift and the more you put your foot on the throttle, it's going to provide the transmission the correct pressure so it can shift better. In my case, it's set at 1 constant pressure, so it doesn't know what it's doing, and eventually we'll blow this transmission up again, which we don't want. But at the same time, I'm kind of sick of the automatic, if I'm being completely honest. A 2J is supposed to be stick shift. That's just, you know, a general rule. I've had this thing almost 4 years now, so I think it's time to put some cash away, doing my research on what transmission is going to work. The T56 Magnum is probably going to be my best option. And yeah, like I said earlier, I can bring it to this guy who did this transmission, and he can basically do everything for me. Custom drive shaft and all that. That's in the near future, you know, when the money's there. But just broke the bank on this one, so might as well enjoy it while I have it. We're gonna head down to a car show now, Fieldworks, and I'm just gonna check it out and drive the Jeep around. Like I said, I haven't had this in like 2 months, so I basically just want to get out there and drive it again. Bucks, all the Subarus. Yeah, we're out here at the car show. Real small turnout so far. Got the Jeep over there. Oh yeah. Look at this contraption.
And what rust we trust.
Oh, this thing's so clean. We didn't stay long at the car show. You can tell by my face, it was really hot out. And to be honest with you, it was a really small turnout. Not much cool cars, you know, your typical car show these days. So I was just gonna go home because the car show was small and there's nothing else going on. But I actually just saw that there's a classic car show like 10 minutes away from me. So I think I'm gonna go check that out, see what it's all about. So yeah, in between rain showers, made it out to the classic car show. Pretty good turnout, honestly better than the last show I was at, but I was driving here, just started downpouring, so I wasn't even sure if I wanted to come because the Jeep just gets soaking inside. But yeah, it turned out to be pretty good weather for this classic car show. After that rain, it got super hot and super muggy, so I don't think I'll hang around here too long. Maybe go check out some other cars. There's a really clean RX-7 up here that I want to show you guys. This thing's really cool because it's 81. Interior is absolutely immaculate. I was talking to a guy earlier, actually for sale. All original. Guess it came from Arizona. That's why it's so clean.